Hey, if anybody's here, I'm gonna go. I've been ADD in it, and I forgot to put anything out on the other pages, like in Discord or anything. So give me 1 second, please. Hope everybody's doing good. The two of you that are here. Hey, Sean, what's up, buddy? Uh, no land working today. I'm just gonna share this out real quick. I was watching Tops. Hey, Mr. Gary. I was watching Top and Josh. Justin Thompson. Oh shit. That sucks. Just don't forget to get your mix right. Hey, Landa. Let me stick this link in a few places. So I hear Todd's going to start doing book reviews now. Wonder where he got that idea. Yeah. He's got responsibilities, man. All right. Let us. We're going to hit chapter 10. Betrayed. Shiz has a 6 o'clock. Let me go ahead and scheduled for updates. Has anybody seen the his mugshot? He looks pretty rough. All right. That'll get us. Hey Danny. I'll see if I can get it here in a little bit. I just want to get started doing this. Plus, Shiz is going to cover it a little bit later. I want to thank Nomad for my latest laser. I think it's pretty awesome. Shiz is in for it. She's in so much trouble. All right. Chapter 10, Betrayed. Any army, ancient or modern, is a moral construction defined by shared expectations and values. Jonathan Shea, Achilles in Vietnam. I just bought I just bought Achilles in Vietnam. I think it might be a good read. Um, the moral injury of Sarah Plummer didn't begin with the killing, although that came to be a part of it. It began when she suffered a violent assault, a personal betrayal that grew into an institutional betrayal, jarring experiences in which Plummer felt her fellow warriors and superiors profoundly violated the moral codes of honor, loyalty, respect, and professionalism she believed were the very embodiment of the United States Marine Corps. Hey, Linda. How's Hazel? Who's that good girl? Betrayal is a violation of trust, and trust is the bone and sinew of the military. Daily military life is sustained by trust embodied in the common phrase, got your six, referring to the blind spot immediately behind a fighter pilot's helmet. 6 o'clock on clock faces as you face 12. A pilot's wingman watches his buddy six so nobody sneaks up behind him. More broadly, it means I'm protecting you. Depend on it, no matter what. Those who volunteer for military service live daily with the responsibility for someone's six and trust that somebody's got theirs. Trusting and being trustworthy are learned skills, not deliberately practiced in civilian life. But in the military, trust is bedrock, taught from a recruit's first day. In Army basic training, I have watched new soldiers instructed to topple over backwards from a 5 foot high platform, trusting that fellow recruits gathered below will catch them. After more weeks of training, recruits are required to complete a buddy team live fire event in which a soldier low crawls with her buddy while her buddy is laying down suppressive fire with live bullets from behind. The exercise, drill sergeants say, teaches new soldiers to put their lives in the hands of other soldiers. Beyond that immediate moral covenant, the men and women who we send to war trust that the physical preparation and other training they've been given will enable them to survive and prevail in combat, that their weapons and equipment work and are better than those of the enemy, and that their superiors, up to the commander in chief, are competent and act in their best interests. They have to trust that their friends and allies won't shoot them in error or in anger, that they won't be left behind, that medics will save them if wounded, that their lives will not be squandered by politicians back home. What's up, Audit Us? That the war they are fighting is moral and just, and that their service will be seen as honorable. In war, betrayal of that trust is inevitable. That's a truth that runs through military history. The literature of war, betrayal forms as the basis of the Greek classics, Homer's Iliad, Sophocles' Ajax, among many others, and appear in such classics as Eric Maria Remarque's All Quiet on the Western Front, and Carl Marilantes' Vietnam memoir, what it is like to go to war. In the wars of Iraq and Afghanistan, betrayal seemed to come from all directions. Some Americans joined the military eager to participate in the noble work of building peaceful, prosperous democracies as the White House promised. And individuals did good work in mentoring judicial and municipal officials, building bridges and schools, and working with farmers to increase crop yields and exports. Yet, much of that progress was thwarted or undone by a lack of consistent long term support from Washington and by bureaucratic rules that delayed or strangled innovation in the field. A common belief among those who served in Iraq and Afghanistan is that the politicians in Washington never gave them enough manpower, time, and other resources to do the job right. Grunts in Iraq and Afghanistan, for instance, at first traveled in unarmored vehicles until casualties from IEDs skyrocketed. Then soldiers and Marines began devising and installing their own makeshift armor plates, often at their own expense. This is not my eulogy. I hope not, Audit. Finally, after years of prodding from parents, journalists, and politicians, including the late Senator Edward Kennedy, help from Washington arrived in the form of heavily armored Humvees and blast resistant armored trucks. At home, people turned against the war, even as military families braced for second and third deployments. Sending their own loved ones back into wars the public had decided were lost causes. And they weren't wrong, as we see today. In the war zone, civilians that the troops were there to help sometimes turned out to be the enemy. What's up, Chris Milky? Freddie, it's good to see you, buddy. Um, Planning IEDs and targeting American patrols for insurgent snipers. We saw this earlier in the book, right? When the kid who everybody loved ended up detonating a IED right in front of him. It really fuck with your head. So Americans assigned to work with Iraqi and Afghan security forces sometimes were shot by the soldiers they were mentoring in what the military came to label green on blue violence. The betrayal of trust is the most basic violation of the sense of right and wrong and can carve a jagged moral wound deep in the soul. Betrayal sours into cold fury and bitterness that veterans know civilians find hard to understand. Betrayal corrodes their ability to trust again, extending the moral injury through families and colleagues and impairing participation in civic life. Brandon Friedman was a young lieutenant with a combat tour in Afghanistan behind him when he and the platoon of the 101st Airborne Infantrymen he commanded took part in the 2003 invasion and occupation of Iraq. The premise of the entire war: Saddam's alleged and non existent weapons of mass destruction had been exposed as a falsehood, and the U.S. invasion had unleashed a bloodbath of violence and killing. The night that two of the unit's sergeants were killed, Friedman lay on his cot and simmered with pent up fury, recalling the night in his 2007 book, The War I Was Always Wanted, he wrote. I'd always wanted to fight, but I never wanted any part of something like this. I was a professional soldier. I wanted to believe in my work. Instead, I was watching as politicians with no military experience hijacked the army. 2 guys in our battalion were dead, 2 families ruined, and try as I might, I couldn't figure out what the purpose of that was. Things that had been welling up inside me all summer suddenly exploded in my head like a dozen Roman candles. I hated the president for his ignorance. I hated then Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld for his appalling arrogance and his lack of judgment. I hated their agenda. I hated Colin Powell for abandoning the army, for not taking care of his soldiers when he could have done something to stop these people. I hated them because now that meant that my guys could be next. I felt like we had been taken advantage of. We were professionals, sent on a wild goose chase using a half baked plan for political reasons. I just hate audit us. What are you talking about, sir? Are you or them? Her. Z. What's your pronouns there, bud? So I can properly address your lies. Recently, I asked Friedman if he still felt that way. Oh, yeah, he said. Brandon is a tall and rangy with a thatch of brown hair, deep blue eyes, an informal smile, and pleasant grin. I don't think I'll call you sir, thank you. Had completed his army obligation in late 2003 and later gone to work for the Obama administration in Washington, D.C. Obama administration was worse than the Bush administration when it came to war. Advocating for veterans. Married with a family, he was settled, but the war was still with him. The moral imperative for me is to stay away from anybody who served on President Bush's national security team. I won't socialize with them. I don't trust them as equals. I pulled out of being considered for a job when I found out who I'd be working for. To me, it's not like, well, all that happened a long time ago. We're all good. That's not how it works. I was at Walter Reed a few years ago and saw a guy in a motorized wheelchair, which he operated with his mouth because he had no arms or legs. It's one thing to hear stories like that on the news, but go to Walter Reed and see for yourself. That's the cost of war. In this case, a war that never should have happened. And I won't sit here and say that's okay. The Iraq war was bullshit. I won't, and I'm not going to shake hands with the guys responsible for it. Todd sniping, just play Magic. It's okay. Hey, I mean, if he can learn something and cure that fucked up brain of his, he's more than welcome. Malfunction junction. What's your function? Why's your head fucked up? Well, then go over to Todd's. He's playing Magic. Audit us. It's okay. Stay here and learn something. I like to teach. The same bitterness gripped Stephen Canty when he and other Marines of Charlie 1-6 were on their second tour in Afghanistan, where they'd been assigned to train, mentor, and fight alongside Afghan National Army soldiers. What's propaganda? People's own experiences audit us? You go out there and first you want to do the best thing you can to be the nicest you can. You really believe in the hearts and minds stuff, he said. You really want to help these guys, then you realize it doesn't work like that. We got guys sleeping next to us in the ANA who were Taliban, and we're supposed to be guarding these fucks. supposed to be training them, and we're supposed to count them during missions to watch our backs. Count on them. You have Washington saying, hey, hearts and minds. Hey, partner with the Afghans. And these motherfuckers are shooting your own buddies, soldiers and Marines in the back. And you're going to sit here and keep us telling us to partner? Sean, you know they don't answer questions. I'm just gonna call audit us day. Let's see. Canty said it got to where you couldn't trust a single person except the guys next to you, unless you were with Bo Bergdahl, right? 5 years after he returned from Afghanistan, Canty told me that's why we have trouble trusting people. Yeah, you're welcome, Audit. Sarah Plummer was a bright 24-year-old Marine lieutenant who went to war in 2005, in charge of an intelligence unit based in Western Iraq that operated small unmanned surveillance drones, working out of Al-Qaeda Air Base. She and her enlisted Marines flew Pioneer and Scan Eagle drones. Hey, I know those very well. Equipped with video cameras and monitored and analyzed the live video feeds to hunt for insurgents planning IEDs or setting ambushes of friendly troops. Often they were asked to track individual insurgent leaders, so called high value targets. They guide an attack by hunter killer teams of commandos or by airstrikes or artillery, then advise the U.S. commands of the outcome, called Battle Damage Assessment or BDA. Number of bodies, number of vehicles or houses destroyed. That's true, Sean. That's true. Heavy training on Jade Helm. Yeah, I seen it coming. Buckle up, Patriots. PTSD is a condition you don't want. Indeed, Chris Melky. Don't need to ask question. I already concluded my answers about Audit Us watching day in the past chats. I've never paid attention to them enough. It was a painfully close-up view of the ugliness of war. What's up, Surrender Monkey? The drones, powerful video cameras, drawing Plummer and her operators and analysts into an intimate communion with death. As in any war, the violence sometimes was inflicted on innocents. We were seeing some of the murders and beheadings, and we're not pulling the trigger. But we do target recon beforehand for Marines or soldiers, she said. Often, she and her Marines were not told who the target was or why. It was being hit, but we were just given the map coordinates and told to keep an eye on the location. Yep. Then we'd see pretty much an entire family get murdered on the roof of their house, even though we'd been told to go off target, that is, look away, before we could see what was happening. But we knew. We did a lot of BDA during or immediately after the bombs had been dropped or artillery fired. That was years before the U.S. military noticed that many of its drone operators, whether they were based overseas or in the United States, were becoming emotionally sickened by watching people being killed. Like 2013, for instance, when I visited a highly classified drone operation and intelligence center at Langley Air Force Base in Southern Virginia. The rates of trauma had risen so sharply that the Air Force had begun helping its people cope by adding to the staff a full time psychologist and chaplain. They'd walk the floor, stopping to check to see if the operators and analysts bent over their screens on 12-hour shifts, monitoring video transmitted from drones soaring high over Afghanistan. So I was mission commander early on for 25 uh, drone feeds in Afghanistan for Afghanistan and Iraq. Um, Continuing to do strikes over and over. I had to give the go ahead on the strikes on almost all of those targets. Sean, in '05, I wrote a paper about that nightmare scenario if we made and allowed drones to proliferate as they have. And but the Obama administration made a deal and with so DJI could come into the states. I'll leave it at that. But in Iraq between 2005 and 2007, now I'm not saying they're not good. Shalom, shalom. Will be Shabbat here in about 3 hours. So, yeah, hit the like button or dislike button. Audit us. Thank you for your engagement as well, sir. I'll call you sir for that. Turn outs can't be handled here. Do I block you? Do I hide you? Go say something against Todd in his channel. Daniela, loved your new picture. Those were ravens. You had the ravens were the big ones. The bigger ones that you threw. No, the ravens were the smaller ones. It was another bird name. I'm pretty sure. Let me look. I can't remember. I had so many. I could look on my resume, or Todd will probably read my resume, so I could look there. No, it's not on there. Let's see. There was the Raven. All right. Sean, was it about a 6-foot wingspan? And you had like 4 in the inventory? If so, that's the Raven. You're being a troll, audit us, and you know it. But it's okay. I mean, I appreciate the engagement. The Pumas. Dang, it's been a long time since I messed with the Puma. I'm a Puma. I don't even know who Audit Us is. Nevermore, nevermore. All right, back to this. What's up, Northern Ned? How you doing, buddy? Let's see. But in Iraq between 2005 and 2007. What's up, Stephanie Jenks? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Uh, even though the carnage Plummer saw up close was horrific, she never sought out a chaplain or mental health counselor to talk it through. All that actually made a pretty big impact on me and on my Marines, but we didn't have the context to talk about it, she told me. When you're in a trigger puller environment of hardcore warfighters and you're just there, the support person, you feel you don't have the space to say how it affects you. Yeah, want to be tough guys are, they're sad. At the start of her career, Plummer was determined to become a Marine aviator, a highly competitive and sought after assignment for which she was well positioned after graduating from the University of Virginia on a Navy scholarship and completing 4 years of ROTC. She'd done her civilian flight training, excelled in athletics, and gotten top grades. Her dad had been an Air Force navigator. Now she was officially accepted into the Naval Aviation program. Flying was what I always wanted to do, she said. Then she said she was raped by a fellow ROTC midshipman. Damn, she's freaking riddled with PTSD. It was 2 weeks before graduation and her commissioning as an officer. It was someone I knew and cared about. I was screaming and punched. It was pretty black and white. I fought him off me, but that's not how it was interpreted later when I did report what happened. She went the next day to her Marine instructor, intending to tell him exactly what had happened. But like many rape victims, she found herself unable. I felt shame. I felt bad and dirty. That somehow it was my fault, that I could have prevented it, she said, because it had happened within the university's small military family. She felt as if she had been raped by her brother and now had to tell her father. At the last minute, she couldn't do it. Instead, she just told the officer that she was having a hard time with things and let it go at that. Holding a pocket. What the hell are you talking about? After graduation, she went to the basic school, the tough Marine Corps officer training course, and during orientation week, she and her fellow fledgling officers were given a briefing on sexual assault. The briefer, a female officer and lawyer, gave several examples of sexual assault. One of the stories was similar to that what happened to Plummer. She and a friend talked after class. Her friend urged her to report her rape. If she didn't, Plummer thought, he might rape again, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I knew this wouldn't turn out well, but it was the beginning of getting some agency over what had happened. Hey, peace. It went badly. An investigation went nowhere. Like other victims of military sexual assault, we call it military sexual assault because the reporting rules, the the cover up and lack of accountability are so great when it comes to that. The military gets opted out of many sexual assault laws. Um, it's a pretty sad thing. Let's see. One day, the military lawyer handling her rape case passed her in the hallway. We put a note in his record. The officer said no further action could be taken. Case closed. Sarah sought out a mental health counselor. She told the story of her rape and discussed other concerns, acknowledging that after the rape, she had experienced periodic depression. I witnessed firsthand female Marines being treated like shit in Fallujah. We went Camp Fallujah for an after action, and I saw higher ups treating two female like shit, and it was embarrassing. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty gross how the general staffs treat their female aides and other people below them. Sorry. She told the story of her rape and discussed other concerns, acknowledging that after the rape, she had experienced periodic depression. Emotionally drained but undaunted, I gotta move my mouse. Okay. Showed up at Naval Air Station Pensacola to begin formal military flight training. She had been told that seeing a mental health counselor would not affect her chances of being selected as an aviator. They told me that this was the new Marine Corps and counseling wouldn't affect my career. She said, I was never on medication. I was not suicidal. I was a top performer with great grades and physical fitness scores. But it turned out that attitudes in the Corps weren't so modern after all. I was deeply disappointed with and utterly wounded by the institution, which not only let me down, but continued to punish me in one way or another for years after having reported the rape. She let, read her, she letter wrote in her blog, Semper Sarah. Eventually, she took an assignment with Marine Corps intelligence and ended up deploying twice to Iraq. There, on her second deployment, the story of her rape surfaced among some of the unit's officers, and she started seeing a mental health counselor. I felt I had done well seeking therapy, she told me. But then it was thrown back in my face. It felt even worse than the immediate aftermath of the rape. Because being deployed and dealing with the re traumatization of telling my story, being shuffled around from chaplain to commanding officer to therapist and having to tell my story about 30 more times. And meantime, working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. For me, it felt like basically every area of my life was touched by my trauma or stress or drama. Finally, a Navy psychologist and senior officer rescued her and found her a new assignment. And after a few months, she rotated back to the United States, where she finished her 6 years in the Marine Corps. Bravo to her for fighting through and finishing her 6 years, by the way, in the Corps. Uh, I know how dealing with the watching everything, um, calling in fires and everything affects you. So, and then add on top of that the rape. Um, that takes some courage and strength, indeed. Sarah found healing from her moral injuries not so much through formal therapy dedicated to relieving the shame and bitterness and depression. But through her own personal faith and drive, she found meaning in working as a life coach, yoga instructor, speaker, and nutritionist, and by developing a habit of positive thinking. Her healing began during her second deployment to Iraq when she discovered yoga. Yoga's freaking awesome. Sweet Melissa, how you doing? Those days I got on the mat, I could actually breathe, she wrote in her blog, even if it was only for a few minutes at a time. It was a lifesaver because the rest of the time I literally felt suffocated. Yoga helped bring her the recognition that healing from her trauma was up to her, that she had the power to take control of her life and move on. To me, choosing to live out of love instead of fear or anger is not due to an absence of trauma, but in spite of it. I just got that, Melissa. I had to read it like 4 times. Oh, man. No one is going to do it for you, even if you have an amazingly supportive spouse, family, or friends. I spent years wishing people would do something more for me, believing they should be doing more for me until it clicked. In some ways, it almost did not matter what anyone did for me because ultimately, true healing would only come from within me. But she cautions that healing from the moral injury of betrayal doesn't come quickly or easily or even completely. We don't heal never to be in pain again. We heal so that we're strong enough to take the heal, persistent enough, courageous enough, she says in a video she recorded in the mountains of Colorado, where she sounds like a soccer athlete once was. Driving a little. On bad days, you push yourself. It still hurts. If you're one of those people, and we've all been there, and you're feeling that pain, pick up the phone and talk to somebody and let yourself feel the pain. Being strong enough to ride this tide. She makes it sound easy, but from the combat veterans I've spent time with, I know it's not easy. Some, like John Lee, keep it locked up for almost a lifetime. Chapter 11, War Crime. We'll hit this tomorrow. I'm going to try to get back into the daily habit of this. I know Kaiser has kind of consumed us, um, starting to see um benefits from the wheels of justice. Sometimes they don't go round and round, they just go slowly forward. All right, Daniela, I'm finishing up. Be well, get the adulting done, and have fun. So here we go. How's everybody doing? Um, we doing well. Um, oh yeah, it's already time for that, Melissa. I hope you recover well. Who's Kaiser? Who's this Kaiser you speak of? Anybody have any questions, comments? If not, we will adjourn. Anything anybody wants to talk about? Uh, oh boy, Dale, I feel for you, buddy. Are you off of the bad stuff? Criminal from Brazil. He's a Venezuelan gang member. We're yo always such a can't. We're yo. Are are you having a stroke audit us? Do you need a ambulance? Are you smelling toast? Oh man. Let's send up some prayers, Shabbat prayers for you today, Spider Dog. I know how you believe, but I will send them out and put them in the good vibes folder as well. What's up, Wally? How you doing, buddy? You got a live coming up? If you do, I'll throw up a link. Ben Buttercup, greetings and salutations, sir. You got anything out new, Ben? Oh, you just, dude, I did not mean to step on your live. I didn't get a notification for it. I'm sorry. Well, I will link it. That way we can go back and watch it. Well, I just. Oh, okay. Well, traveling. Yeah, we should. I want to do that. I saw some conspiracy show was talking about it. I didn't watch them, but yeah, we'll definitely go over that imagery. So, all right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna get something to eat before the shiz show here in about 2.5 hours. What's up, John Moore? Was that what that was one of the ones you sent me, right? Wally? You won't restream what? Let's see. Send if any of y'all.
Oh, you're talking about the part with me in Florida and the. Oh, you're talking about the part with me in Florida and the Skittles in my foreskin. Yeah, okay. No, that was like a wordsmith there.
That is one of my favorites. Yeah. Nomad did it for me. Nomad's the man. So, audit us. You can call people a cunt. Most of us over here love cunt. It's beautiful. The Mossad only controls red squirrel, sir. Oh, Dale, I've put their beds. Hang on a second. I put their bed right here, so they don't, so y'all don't get ass pics all the time. They just sleep right here, and I get pick up snoring every now and then. So, yeah, Wally, just let me know whenever. Yeah, that pussy drop is from Shiz is the best. The pussy. Oh, audit us. I really do appreciate the interaction, though. But thank you, Freddie. Love you, brother. I'm glad Mitch is back too. He's had some beautiful pictures of vacation. I would stay there forever. Let's see. You want to do? No, Mom, delete that comment.
Guess who?
Yeah. That was Top and Josh.
Apologize here and now. I believe very strongly you're.
Oh, he went away from me. What did you get bored, Dodd? Facts are boring to you? All right, y'all. I'm gonna hit it. What's up, Cody? I told you it's a 7 head. Look, what? Okay, so it's a 5 head. I'm sorry. I mismeasured. Not really a 5. It's kind of a 4 head. See, like a 4 head. The difference, Coded, is I don't give a shit. See you, Wally. Let's talk offline about all the other stuff and schedule something. Okay, Coded. Call it what you want, buddy. I know you need attention and want validation. I'll give you some attention for about I'll give you 5 minutes of attention. And then we'll be out of here. Good to see you again, Stephanie. All 25. Yep. That's right. My rewatches, my after show watches are really good though, Audit Us. And I really don't care because I retain my subscribers and retain my watchers. It's a really cool thing. Thank you, Linda. I'm gonna get back into the PTSD content. I might cover Screwy Head over there. Uh, Coded. I left all three of my wives and divorced them. Filed for divorce. Three. What's up, Mike D? Whose family I'm talking about, Coded? It may be me, Coded. I'm fucked up in the head. Traumatic brain injuries, two failed businesses. I made a lot of money from one, and the second one I never did do anything with. Um, but I can revive them. I just let them die on the vine. Um, I just didn't re up with the Secretary of State, so they were administratively dissolved. That's not failed businesses. That's just me not doing anything with them. I was done with those government contracts, so I let a Battle Space Awareness Group go away. Crane Incorporated, I'll just let go away. So, ooh, I'm so ashamed. Long line of failures. Coded, don't you live with your mommy and she vacuums your floors and shit? My my condo I'm sitting in right now can go to the farm when I want to. You know, go shooting, tend the gardens, get the eggs from the chickens, slaughter some chickens. Keep trying what table, Coded? Oh, so you're either Let's or you're Bricky, but saying the juice. Coded is the smartest, most successful person around. Just ask him. Yeah, funny. The SEC's never heard of you, Bobby. I mean, you want to start throwing shit around, Bobby. We can throw shit around. Melissa knows. She knows the locations. How's that New Hampshire State Police, buddy? That's not for Coded. That's you know who you are. Yeah, he is. What lies have I spread, Coded? Why don't you go on your page and show receipts of what I won't respond because I don't give a fuck. This is fun. The engagement is great. Coded sending me messages like a pissed off middle schooler is oh, I have Coded everything I have said I have receipts for. Sorry for you, buddy. Space lasers aren't real. I didn't delete a single post. I'm too lazy to do that shit, Coded. I have other things to do. I have a life. They're there. I even hearted them and liked them. I told you I appreciated them. Nope. I don't have to lie, Coded. Bernie Blanco, the man with the plan. With the unretired Chili avatar. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Coded's having a day. He didn't get his nap out. What comes naturally audit us. On the tube streets. What if I say they're the best little dogs ever? Or best big dogs? Whole Style Productions. Well, I was just going over a book about moral injury. And then some people wanted to come in my chat and start shit. So they're I should have ended about 10 minutes ago, but these passive heat. Hey, I love everybody, Coded. I just love you a lot less. You started with Jew hatred, buddy. I think that's what it was. I think it was the hatred of the Jews. Okay, Coded. I'll take my psychology degree over your non-degree. Amen, Hole. Amen. I agree with that. That's a great assessment. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of self-hatred with any peoples in the world, Coded. And yeah, your PhD in what? Audit us. What is it? Come on. What is it? All right, Dale. Sorry this devolved. Be good. Be well, sir. I'll have to I'll have to go find the clips, Coded. I'm not doing it right now. Do you think Todd lies when confronted about things that he says or doesn't really understand? I think it's both. I think he lies to cover up his lack of knowledge. That's why him and Brick, they like to shout down people and not address the conversation. I think too much. Well, since you don't think thoughts are real, it doesn't really matter, right? If I think too much, I'm really not doing anything in your concept of reality, right? Y'all are just giving me more and more engagement, and I do appreciate it. I'm not making anything up, Coded. And I really don't owe you anything. I'm just I'm I'm really just humoring you, so but for the engagement. I'm glad to hear that about PTSD reading. It's helped me better than anything else I tried. Thank you, Freddie. Yeah, get that now, buddy. I've told you the truth. Practice kindness and compassion. I try to most times. Respect all living beings and in the environment. I do. Uh, be humble and grateful what you have. I am. Seek knowledge. I do. Forgive and let go of grudges. I that's a sin I have to pray for every day. Coded. I already gave you my answer on that. You need to stop acting like a toddler and accept what I've said. You think too much. I think that's my problem too. Damn, I keep figuring things out. It took Audit Us to let us know about it. That well, yeah. I mean, Danny coded. No, stop, stop asking. Coded. I already told you no. I asked who is Todd, and I know y'all mentioned on Hill Pirate Studios, but I don't know this person. Is he? Yes, he's the one with the beard. Um, a very. I mean, I will say, in my opinion, he's a very hateful, racist, anti-Semitic uh, man who has a lot of self-hatred for himself. Um, and if he would get help, he might be all right. He gets there. He gets there. He's almost there sometimes, and then he just like freaking blows it to pieces. Drops a 2,000 pound J Dam once he almost gets there. So I covered him twice yesterday. It's all good. It's all good, Benny. I get it. It gets it gets a butt. I'm hateful and self-loathing. No, I am. I am Audit Us. Lola, she was a showgirl. Mm. Ba-da-da-ba-da. Who should strive to live like not a man to worship. Amen. Uh, well, he's the son of God just the same way as we're the sons and daughters of God. Only in that way. Uh, thanks, Mike D. The Copacabana. That's a very violent song. Listen, if you listen to the words. When I was an adult, I saw. I started thinking about it, and I was like, "Good grief, who's squirming? Y'all are the one in my chat acting like 3-year-olds." Oh man, Freddie. All right, you guys. I am going to go grab something to eat. 2 hours, 15 minutes. Kisses. Um. Okay. Coded, no. You are absolutely 100% wrong. See, this is the things I say. Jesus was a hardline Jew. Copacabana. It's freaky seeing my cat's face just pop in and out. All right, Coded. Y'all have a good day. Have a great day. Be better, Coded. I think you're a smart guy. You're just deluded, and I'm not Shem. You need to read Genesis, Bricky, and figure out where Ashkenaz came from. No, that's human sacrifice. That is a very Greek concept, not a biblical concept. Remember where your roots are. Whose grandfather was Ashkenaz? Audit us. I don't deny God. I believe in the God of Israel. Audit us. Who was Ashkenaz's grandfather? You can look it up. So you're Danny. You're part of a Unitarian church. That takes away the idolatry part of Christianity. No, I don't. I have a personal relationship with God as God commanded in the Jewish scriptures. But when Messiah comes, there will be a universal knowledge of God, and you can accept him then too. So you can continue to be wrong. It's okay. I'm glad you love OSB. No, he didn't. Nothing ever happened that Paul corrupted the scriptures to meet his own needs, to turn Christianity to Rome. What if you literally worship the sun? Hey, Abby, that's your choice. I mean, that, like I said, if you don't believe when Messiah comes, there will be a universal knowledge of God, and you can accept or not accept. I mean, it's perfectly fine. And welcome. You die in the past? Do my parents have hate for me? No, my parents love me. Paul was corrupt. Peter even hated him. Peter said Paul was his enemy. It's okay. We know you make the rounds. If you could only prove my lie about Paul, I might do a stream on that. In fact, I have. I did a stream on Romans. Peter is my shortcomings. Oh, you're so funny. You crack me up. hilarious. Uh, yeah. All right, Coded. I think you smoked a little bit too much. I don't want the smoke. What smoke? What smoke do I want? Are you making a threat? I love Star Wars. Star Wars is awesome. Uh, the oh, the Hebrew Bible, not the Old Testament, uh, does not predict Jesus in any way. Coded. Meeting your superiors alarming. What? Yeah, Peter. And Danny. Then you have the different Johns, right? You have John the Baptist, John, and then John the Revelator. I'm clutching pearls. I'm just, I'm just having fun. Serious denial? No, it's knowledge of the scriptures. I'm condemned? No. Yeah, he probably watched The Passion of the Christ 4 or 5 times and think that's coded. If I believe the New Testament is corrupted, why are you going to use it as something to prove me wrong with? Documentary? No. No. Oh, it was pure lies. I mean, Mel Gibson did do the movie. He's made himself very clear about how he feels about the Jews. Oh no, I have tattoos as well. Oh shit, I'm in so much trouble. Yeah, Danny. I mean, we don't have to agree on how we get there. So then you're coded. Then you're saying that the Hebrew Bible is lies, right? You're claiming that your base is a lie. So who says I don't keep the law or ask forgiveness when I disobey the law? Because I don't eat pork. I don't eat non-kosher meat. So you're saying that the Hebrew Bible is a lie? I'm gonna harden your heart. I'm gonna swallow your tears. Exactly, and the Hebrew Bible is at odds with the Christian Bible. Who ordered the code red? You can't handle the truth. I can't say the word Jack said. Oh hell yeah, you do, Benny Blanco. Blanco. No, okay, coded. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Well, I mean, the requirement, Danny, is to drain the blood, and not eat meat with the blood still in it. I'm plenty loose, Vegas. I had, I had over 100 in my show yesterday. All right, Brick. I mean, using juice and your your goal is to use it as a pejorative for Jews is not a impressive or funny. No, I never said the Hebrew Bible is a lie. Said the Christian Bible has been corrupted. Oh, vegans. No. I can't I couldn't live on vegetables alone. What laws am I not keeping, Coded? I'll wait. I'll tell you, I'm not fully compliant on the Sabbath. I pray for forgiveness on it, but I have tattoos. I prayed for forgiveness on those. See, just because I do something outside the law, I have a personal relationship with God. I pray 3 times a day. So, yeah, I could let it go a minute. Da, 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 da. Aren't Jews required to make sense? No, there is no temple coded. When Messiah comes back, the third temple will be rebuilt. The red heifer will be sacrificed by the Messiah for coded. There is no temple, and blood sacrifice is only required for unintentional sins. And when the Messiah comes back, and the third temple is built, the Messiah will offer a sacrifice for all mankind and himself for the redemption from unintentional sin. We are responsible for asking for forgiveness for all of our other sins. I said the sacrifice isn't in effect, dummy. Skin of my yes, it is used to symbolize our sacrifice to God audit us. Yes, that's what circumcision is for. No, it's not. Human sacrifice is very much anti God. So leave my pets alone for any sacrifices. I pay my tithes to the poor and needy. We are required to pay it to charity. That helps the widows and orphans. No, it does not. I had served my time for Israel in Israel. I just told you the purpose of the tithe. Thank you, Spider Dog. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I mean, that's what I always tell people, Spider Dog. If you are going to change my Bible to fit your narrative, do you think I'm going to convert? But I mean, I kind of did convert. I went the other way. I went from Christianity to. There are Levitical priests here. Coded. I had my requirements to serve Israel. I'm so wrong. Yes, I'm so wrong about my life, Brick. Oh, God. Y'all crack me up. Telling me I'm wrong about my life. This is good. Oh, cool. Vacuum filters and bags. Holy shit. Dale, are you still in the chat? I just got your email, Dale. Fuck yeah, man. It's a hell of a system. Okay. Are you reading it from a KJV, NIV? What are you doing? The first cut is the deepest. Since all lawyers are Jews, I trust you two to know the law. Doctors and accountants as well. So, this has been fun. I do appreciate all the engagement, Coded and Brick. You guys are useful idiots. I appreciate it. Coded, you're so sweet. I know. How many times have I admitted that I am not following the law completely? Job is the only person I know that actually followed the law completely. He was a righteous man, and he wasn't even a Jew. How amazing is that? He was a Noahide. Coded, coded. Spider Dog Brick thinks that I'm from Shem as a Ashkenazi. He doesn't know who Ashkenaz's grandfather was. It's not the Old Testament. It is the Hebrew Bible. You don't even have enough respect for the Bible to call it by its proper name. The Jews didn't exist when John was alive. His grandpa was not Shem, audit us. King David was the prime example of Spider Dog. Is she, Melissa? Yes, it's real YouTube, Woodrow. John Bon Jovi is Jewish? Question mark. Oh me. Like a horse pill, isn't it, Spider Dog? It's still a pejorative no matter how you say it, Brick. You think you're funny. It's just even more offensive. Bon Jovi was a lawyer. Can you imagine your lawyer? Well, there are lawyers with hair like that, right? The guy that's always on Law Talk with Mike from Texas, or used to be. Oh, again, I want to shout out Biggin too. He anybody who doesn't watch him, if you like police chase videos and stuff, go see him over there. He's tremendously helped the growth of the channel. As far as subscriptions go, he shouts me out almost every show, so I appreciate it. So it is, let me be a better host and do this. A little bit of Monica by my side. Yeah, it was PTSD Cap. And then we devolved because Coded decided and Brick decided to come in here and be dumb. Yeah. Spider Dog, this is true. We don't recruit. You can come and join, but we don't really recruit. You don't think it was a conscious decision? Sorry, Justin. Sorry. Don't tell Monster. I think you're in the wrong chat, Brick. So. $2.99 will get you drunk. It'll get you drunk. All right. Anything else from anybody who has a brain? If not, I'm going to. Holy shit! I went an hour longer. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Let me do that. Let me do that. Thank you. All right. I will see y'all soon. Thank y'all for sticking around for the stupidness. It was fun though. Um. Oh, thank you. That is courtesy of Nomad. This is the man. So may disqualify you. What? Did I miss something, Melissa? Joey Simpson, how you doing, buddy? We will see. Hey, Broken System, Broken Trust, how you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate your input today. See, we can have differing views and have a decent qualification. A decent conversation. Yeah, VSBT. Sorry, bud. We're ending. I've already gone like half an hour longer than I wanted to, but good to see you. Y'all be good.